Yo, check one, check two. Yo, I'm gonna talk real quick. Man. There's a lot of craziness as always, per usual, that's going on in hip hop. So let's just get right to it. MK Ultra, right? And I'm just gonna go through this with y'all here, and we just gonna have this talk. I don't really care how professional this video is. What I do care about is it okay to talk about these things? There's not really any independent artists that are doing it all themselves, grassroots, that are in the mainstream. Every artist from Drake to J. Cole to Kendrick Lamar to Eminem, 21 Savage, all these artists that are coming out, dropping these mixtapes, dropping these albums, they all have major label backing behind them. And what is the narrative that they are mostly pushing? Well, that brings me back to the MK Ultra theory. For those that don't know, so what is MK Ultra, right? Well, if we look at the quick Google definition of MK Ultra, it says Project MK Ultra was an illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, intended to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used in interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. Okay, that's one definition of MK Ultra, right? But there's also another part where they talk about mind control, okay? And how they use these drugs such as LSD to control the mind. Started experimenting 1953, right? And we talk about this in other videos, but let me just bring this back right here because this concept is so important that this was a program that went on for 20 years, right? From 1953 to 1973. There's all kinds of crazy stories. Let's go to where it says MK Ultra was preceded by 2 drug-related experiments, Project Bluebird, and we ain't gonna talk about all this, but we'll say it was organized through the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence and coordinated through the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories. Isn't that interesting? Biological warfare. I was just speaking with friends about this and the pandemic and saying that doesn't this seem like a biological warfare that they always talked about? And now there's even some stories out here that Charles Manson was a part of their experiments and so was the Unabomber. Pretty crazy, right? What if it's true? But what I'm thinking is this. Is what if these experiments are still going on today just under a different name? And what if they are using hip hop as one of their experiments? Yo, they knew that this was an art form that came from the streets, and MTV and all the big networks at that time tried to suppress it. But it was just too powerful. It was just too powerful that you could only play hip hop on a Thursday evening. Yo MTV Raps. Those of us that know hip hop, we all remember Yo MTV Raps. You see, this generation doesn't even understand that hip hop was only played on major networks one time in the night. Or you also had Sway and Tech's Wake Up Show. Man, that was classic. So let me go to this, man. You don't think that the system infiltrated this music that could uplift, that could change things, that could make people militant? Yeah, we were just talking about this, man. It seems like they don't want no more KRS-Ones. They don't want no more Public Enemies. You do have some groups out there like Black Star that are still doing their thing, but are they really out there like a Drake and a 21 Savage? Pusha T made a great point in that whole beef or battle with Drake, where he said, I don't know if he put it in the rhyme, but I know I heard him say it in an interview, where he basically said that you are not around for any important black issues. And I had to think about that. I was like, damn, wow, whoo, that's pretty powerful, Push. But not just that. It's true. And you're pretty much the biggest rapper in the world right now, considered to be black. Though I know he's mixed, but considered to be black. And you're not really around for important black issues. And you have an important voice. Yo, there was rappers getting killed. And this dude went on Twitter or Instagram and said that he was beefing with that music nerd. That's what you talking about right now, man? At this time? It was like right when he was tweeting that was when a bunch of shit was going down. I was I thought about that at that point in time. I was like, damn, Drake, that's what you choose to talk about? Yeah. MK Ultra and hip hop. Mind control, right? Can we find that? Can we scroll to that? Yo, the fact that this was going on in the early 50s, it really makes you think like, man, what are they doing now? So let me scroll to this part right here where I'm going to the chapter of LSD. Early CIF efforts focused on LSD-25, which later came to dominate many MK Ultra programs. The CIA wanted to know, this is the part right here that's crazy. The CIA wanted to know if they could make Soviet spies defect against their will and whether the Soviets could do the same to the CIA's own operatives. So they were trying to control the minds of their enemies, and they wanted to see if they could use the drug LSD to do this. That's pretty fucking crazy. This is what I'm saying could be going on in hip hop right now. Like, let's have an intelligent conversation for once. I know that there's a bunch of people that are on the TikToks and the Instagram feeds and even other social media platforms, the Twitter feeds. I mean, how ignorant can that get sometimes? But it's like, yo, can we have an intelligent conversation for once? I mean, that's the reason why I'm speaking about this, because I'm on the platforms searching. I'm searching for this type of information, and I'm not finding it. So got to go do the research myself then. And not only that, but it's like, yo, man, look, as I always say, what's going on in hip-hop right now. You gonna tell me that this shit ain't going on in hip-hop right now, like what they was doing here? So this is the crazy part. The aim was to find drugs that would bring out deep confessions or wipe a subject's mind clean and program them as a robot agent. It's crazy. Military personnel who would receive the mind-altering drugs were also threatened with court materials if they told anyone about the experiments. LSD and other drugs were often administered without the subject's knowledge or informed consent. Yeah, man, this shit is crazy, yo. This shit is crazy. So it seems like this is the reason why LSD was created. A mind-altering drug. A drug that is meant to, to control a person's mind. And this goes back to the stories of supposedly Charles Manson was an informant and working as a CIA agent. These are the other conspiracy theories, yo. And that he was a test that they used to put him out there to control the minds of hippies. It's pretty crazy if that's true. This goes back to a Malcolm X talk that I was listening to, where I was just like, man, it's so interesting that you don't hear enough about this man. You don't really hear about him in school. There's not, I don't think, a day on the calendar for him, even though some people have, of course, made the day themselves. But is it something that the federal government acknowledges? Of course not. But it's like, yo, man, to hear this brother talk about things that were going on in the 60s, late 50s, and this is at the time that this whole MK Ultra thing is going on too. So you know they watching this man. You know they watching. And it's like, yo, the things that he's saying are still somewhat relevant, or shall I say relevant today. And what he's saying is just so clear and so concise that it's like, how could this message not be out there more? And when I listen to hip hop, and then you go back and you listen to Malcolm X talks, it's like, yo, man, hip hop is lost right now, yo. It's completely lost. Let me just play one of these clips.
Well, take equality first. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad doesn't teach us to associate equality with whites. Equality has nothing to do with whites. We don't want to be equal with the white man. He's not the criteria or yardstick by which equality is measured. He's not in a position to tell us we are equal. It's not his right. It's not his to do. Equality, we want equality. We had equality before the white man was created. We had equality before the white man came into existence. And we want equality whether the white man is on this earth or not. Equality means the opportunity to develop all of our dormant potential, all of our dormant capability. And in developing this dormant capability, the right and the ability to stand on this earth on some land of our own and bring about a civilization and a society in which we will be completely independent, complete freedom to take care of the needs, to take care of the wants and the likes and the dislikes of our people, to establish our own nation, our own society, our own heaven, our own future. This is what we mean by freedom, by equality. And justice means as you sow, so shall you reap. If you do wrong, you'll get wrong in return. And if you do right, you'll get right in return. When you're in your own nation, in your own land, you're in a position to get justice. But when you're in another man's country, in another man's land, under another man's flag, and under another man's government, and under another man's court system, you have to look to that other man for justice, and you'll never get it. And Negroes in this country probably are authorities on that.
Yeah. That right there. One part that Malcolm X said that was really just wow, that I never heard really anybody talk about. I think this was filmed, it says, at Berkeley in 1963. And the part where he speaks about how our people, black people, people of color, need to get off of this land and go back and live in our own natural civilization where, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I got to go back and re-listen to this part at least a few times because it's so deep. And like I said, I've never really heard people quote this part of Malcolm X. I even saw the movie. And then the fact that you hear the way hip hop music sounds today, and like I said, you go back and you listen to this speech that Malcolm made, it really makes you think like, whoa, we ain't talking about this in the hip hop. Not at all. Not at all. You guys are going to have to go back and watch that video and do some of your research because I'm not going to get too deep into that. But the information is out there. The information is out there, and it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. But what a crazy time in hip hop. What a crazy time. It's like the Black Panther movement, right? That started in, when did the Black Panther party start? Looks like it was founded in 1966, okay? So that's like around the time when you had the MK Ultras, the FBI, the CIA doing all their craziness. So from what I've read in documents before, the Black Panther Party was broken up, destroyed and killed all the leaders and stuff, did some scandalous stuff. And then all of a sudden now you have the Bloods and the Crips that form out of this. But like I heard in that other Vlad interview, the Bloods and the Crips form out of this, and then there's street rules, and there's certain things you can't do. But then once the internet got a hold of hip hop, it's like shit just started going crazy then. And now it seems as if there's no rules. Everybody's just out there acting, doing things, reacting. There's no types of rules right now. Yeah, man, it's real interesting to me how hip-hop, and I believe I heard KRS One say this, that hip-hop has the power to not only bring people together, but it brings all cultures, nationalities, religions, political beliefs. You see all that in the same room, you know, especially when you at a concert or a festival or whatnot. You see everybody coming together. And I'm pretty sure the government went and said, or the FBI or whoever you want to call it, probably was like, yo, this thing is powerful and we need to infiltrate it. Cueing the Mos Def and Talib Kweli, Black Star. Yeah, I mean, yo, man, that's some truth right there and some music. Dead Prez too. What happened to them? Yeah, you see, it's obvious, man, that the system is designed to keep these rappers that were actually saying some intelligent things in their music and talking about, you know, hey, this is what's going on, and storytelling is so hard to find these days, or really so hard to listen to these days. I mean, I don't really think that anybody is really saying this in music except for maybe Jay-Z, because he was there. He was there. He's like one of the only few from that generation, other than Nas and a few others, that are still here but relevant today, like still dropping good music, like putting out music that people are, I would believe, for the most part, are checking for. But even then, and then that also goes to the crazy Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion case, where the father's calling out Jay-Z and the whole Rock Nation, and it's just like, yo, I agree on, I mean, I got to look at both sides of that table. They both interesting, where he maybe wanted more assistance from the team to help his son. Or some people, I think, of the conspiracy theories are saying he didn't want to sign with Rock Nation, and that's why this happened, which I don't know if that's true. But, hey, they out there, the conspiracy theories. But the other thing is that, yo, what does Jay-Z got to do with a grown man shooting a young woman? I mean, if that's what happened, allegedly, as everybody's saying nowadays. So, or I don't know. Or, you know, maybe he got found guilty, so maybe that's that. The whole thing is just crazy, man. But this is the point here, is that this is what hip-hop is centering around. And the words to express this, I feel like you got to tread carefully with. Because a lot of stuff seems to also be that they do not want the information to get out. And right now, as Alex Jones put it, we are in an info wars. And they are suppressing the information. Who is they, is what we always ask. Who is they? It's obviously some people that are in control here that are running the scenes and want to dictate where the mentalities go. Maybe we should save this for another video where we get even deeper in, because I want to just start dropping content out on this, because I feel like hip-hop needs this right now. And rap music, and even KRS said this back in 95 or somewhere around there in the 90s, where he was like, yo, rappers are in danger. Man, this was in the 90s, yo. So a lot of rappers predicted where we are going, or where we are at right now and where we are headed. And they predicted this like 20 years ago. OC said that too, right? In Time's Up.
What's in the future for the fusion and the change? Rappers are in danger. Who will use wits to be a remainder?
Look at Tupac and look at Biggie. Look at these two, man. This is crazy. This is crazy that we have these two way ahead of their time. It's like, look at the things that they accomplished in the 20 years, right? There was only in their early to mid 20s. And look at what they were talking about, what they were doing, the experiences that they had. It's almost like, man, like we had grown men. Okay? And don't get me started on this, yo, where it's obvious now that they are feminizing hip hop men. But it's like, yo, man, okay, this is the type of men that we put in at the forefront while we got Tupacs and Biggies getting murdered on the streets, and it's still unsolved to this day. We got to look at this, man, and be like, hey, something's up. And then not only is something up, but we don't see this going on in any other culture. And then you want to put a bunch of men in makeup and in dresses and skirts talking about, hey, this is what's hot right now. This is y'all culture. But y'all ain't doing that in country music. So if you look at country music, man, country music seems like a very masculine, male-dominant, for the most part, music genre. And even if it's not really male-dominant, because, yeah, I know you got your Shania Twains and what's her name? Kanye said he made that bitch famous. Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift. Wasn't she country and then she crossed over? Now she's doing some kind of other stuff. But yeah, man, it's a machine. It's like, look at the machine, yo. Look how they promote the music and look at what they doing in hip hop. I personally feel that you can do the beats that you want to do. If y'all rappers want to sound the same, y'all rappers want to sound exactly like each other, go ahead. But you know what? It would be nice if we could hear a rapper that's outside of the box, that's maybe saying something. Now, I think J. Cole was kind of doing that. He was kind of doing that. But and you got the Kendricks. You got the Kendrick. But I'll be honest with y'all. That's it. That's all. First of all, that's it. And second of all, was Kendrick's last album really talking about that? I don't think it was. It was good, but I don't think it was. It wasn't on those. It wasn't on no Nipsey. I'll tell you that, man. Look at the bigger picture, please. I'm asking y'all to look at the bigger picture.